All right, we're looking at number 12. They want us to put this in a reduced row echelon. So the first thing we should do is see that it's a 3 by 3 for our for our coefficient matrix of the augmented matrix. So let's write down 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. And let's make this our focus. We want to keep it highlighted at all times. So the first thing I do is I always go to the first row, first column, and see is that a 1, because we need that to be a 1 for it to work, and it is. So that means our next step is to go to the next row, and we go to 0. That 5 needs to be a 0. How do we do that? Well, we use the 1 we just got. So we're going to multiply by row 1 by its additive inverse. So it's like this. -5 times row 1 plus row 2, and it moves into row 2. So I'm going to try to show all the work here and do all scrap work on the right here, so we can kind of keep going, because I don't want this to be too cluttered, and I do need to kind of show the work because I know some of you guys still kind of struggle with fractions, the idea of it. So I do want to kind of show my thoughts a little bit, because if I don't, some of you guys will say, Mr. Weaver, well, I don't get how you got 4 over 20 or whatever it is, okay? So from here, we're multiplying the entire top row by -5. So let's do that. You get -5, then you get 5, then you get 15, then you get 5 times 2, -10, and then everything stays the same. 5, 2, 1, -17, -3, -1, 0, 8. And remember, our goal was to make this into a 0, and as you can see, -5 and 5 are additive inverses. So I'm going to rewrite this matrix right here just so we can keep on rolling. Row 1, after you do the adding, as you can see, this row 1, goes back to what it normally was. 1, -1, -3, 2. I didn't even mention row 3, so let's plug it in here. -3, -0, -1, 0, 8. And now let's combine them. -5 plus 5 is a 0. 5 plus 2, 7. Then right here, 15 plus 1, 16. -10 minus would be -27. Good. So we figured that out. We made this a 0. So we go down the column, and we get this now. How do we make that a 0? Well, we do the same exact thing we did above again. So we do +3, not a negative since that's already negative, -3 times row 1 plus row 3, and we move it into row 3, as so. So we multiply the entire top row by 3, okay, because our goal is to make this -3 into a 0. So 3, -3, -9, and then 6, 0, 7, 16, -27, -3, -1, 0, 8. And then let's rewrite it. After we do that, this stays the same. 1, -1, -3, 2. Nothing was said about row 2, so let's plug that in. 0, 7, -16, -27. All right, now that's written out. Let's add row 1 to row 3. So 3 plus -3, 0. -3 minus 1, -4. -9 minus 0, -9. 6 plus 8, 14. Good. So now that you can see, we have that 0. So now we go to the next column, and we focus on the 1 first. You always, when you move columns, because you start from the left column 1, then once you finish that full column going down, you go to the second column, look for 1. So now our focus is a 7. How do we make that 7 into a 1? We're going to divide the second row by 1, or by 7, by its reciprocal. So you would say row 2, 1/7, and you do just that. Row 1 stays the same, 1, -1, -3, 2, 0, 1, 16 sevenths. negative 27 sevenths, 0, negative 4, negative 9, 14. Good. So our next step, let's just go above, I guess, and let's figure out how do we make that a 0. Well, lucky for us, we can just add these two rows easily. So what we're going to do here is row 2 plus row 1, 2, row 1. So we're just going to add those two. We don't touch any of them. None of them changed. So let's just do that. 0 plus 1, 1. 1 plus negative 1, 0. 16 sevenths of negative 3. Don't know it right away, so I'm going to do it on my scrap paper to the right. 16 sevenths minus 3. So right here, denominator is a 1, so I'll make it a 7, make this a 7. So 16 minus 21. So we have 16 minus 21 gets us negative 5. So we get negative 5 sevenths. And then we do the 27 right here. So negative 27 over 7 plus 2. So we add a 7 there. Negative 27 divided by 7 plus 14 over 7. 27 minus 14 gives you 13 sevenths. So we get a negative 13 sevenths right here. And everything just follows suit the same. 0, 1, 16 sevenths, negative 27 sevenths, 0, negative 4, negative 9, 14. Our next goal is to go down in that column below the 1. And so we need to make this negative 4 into a 1. How do we do that? Or into a 0. How do we do that? I want to multiply row 2 by 4. So row 2 by positive 4, add it to row 3. I want to place it into row 3. So we get 1, 0, negative 5 sevenths. Because row 1 doesn't change. Negative 13 sevenths. Row 2 is going to be by 4. So 0, 4. 16 times 4 should give us 64. Yep, 64 sevenths. And then 27 times 4 gives us 108. Negative sevenths. And that is our multiplied row. And we're going to be adding it to the bottom row. 0, negative 4, negative 9, 14. So we want to get that negative 4 out of there. And our end result, top stays the same. 1, 0, negative 5 sevenths. Negative 13 sevenths. This row goes back to being the same as it was. 0, 1, 16 sevenths. And then negative 27 sevenths. And now let's combine them. 0 plus 0, 0. 4 plus that is 0. 64, so let's do the math right here. 64 over 7 minus 9. Make a common denominator 7. Multiply this by 7. 64 sevenths minus 63 sevenths. You get 1 over 7. And then we have our next one, which will be negative 108 over 7 plus 14 divided by 7. Multiply the numerator by 7 then. So 4 times 17 gets us 68. Is that right? 14 times 7 is 98. 14 times 7. Yep, 98 sounds about right. 108 plus 98 all over 7 plus 108 negative gets you negative 10 sevenths. Good. So we made that a 0. So our next goal for this is to make this a 1. So how do we make that 1/7 into a 1? We multiply by the reciprocal, which is 7. So we're going to multiply row 3 by 7. We want to place it into row 3, so we don't have to say it because it's row 3, multiply it. So everything stays the same. 1, 0, negative 5 sevenths, negative 13, 7, 0, 1, 16 sevenths, negative 27 sevenths, 0, 0, divided by it becomes a 1, good, so we made that into a 1, just like what we wanted, and here, 10 sevenths multiplied by 7 just becomes negative 10, looks good to me, we did exactly what we wanted, we made that into a 1, good, so we found our first solution, now we just need to find 2 more. We need to make that into a 0, so how do we make 16 into a 0? What we're going to do is make this into a negative 16 0, or 16 sevenths, I mean. So row 3, 16 sevenths, we're going to multiply row 3 by negative 16 sevenths. We're going to add it to row 2 and place it into row 2. So this would look what it looks like. First row doesn't change, 1 0, negative 5 sevenths. Negative 13 sevenths, 0, 1, 16, 7, negative 27 sevenths, 0, 0, this multiplies, becomes negative 16 sevenths, this will become 16 times that, would be 160, 10 times 16, negative 160 sevenths. So this is the row we multiplied. So right here, what do? So we're going to combine them now. The top row stays the same. 1, 0, negative 5 sevenths, negative 13 sevenths. And then the middle row, or let's just move this back to the original on the bottom. 0, 0, 1, negative 10. Now let's start adding. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. This becomes 0. And then now we have 160 over 7 minus 27. So 160 minus 27 gets you 187. Uh-oh. Over 7. Let's hope 7 goes into it. Oh no, did I do something wrong? That was already a negative. We multiplied by negative. Oh, it's a positive. Duh. I see your mistake now. That was a positive because there's already a negative 10. Okay, duh. Let's fix it. Plus 160. So 160 minus 27 gets you 133 over 7. Gets us a good old 19. That looks about right. Because I don't remember fractions in this answer when I did it first. Alright, take a deep breath. We're on the last one. Take a deep breath. Now we just need to make this into a 0. The way we're going to do that is we're going to multiply row 3 by 5 sevenths. So row 3, I'm going to add it to row 1 and place it into row 1. Okay, that's our goal. I'm going to move it up a little bit so we can get a better idea. Good, let's do this. Everything stays the same, 1, 0, negative 5 sevenths, negative 13 sevenths, 0, 1, 0, 19, and then we multiply everything by 0, 0, 5 sevenths, negative 50 sevenths, negative, negative, good. We change this. So let's finish this. Let's see what our final solution is. All right, right here, 0, so that becomes 1. 0 stays the same, 0. So what we get right here, negative 50 over 7 plus negative 13 sevenths. So 50 minus 13 gets us negative 63 divided by 17, which gives us a negative 9. If you were to divide it, you get negative 9. And then everything else just falls in place. 0, 1, 0, 19, 0, 0, 1, negative 10. So we did it. You can check your answer too if you'd like, but I know this is right because I did this before. X equals -9, y equals 19, and z equals -10. Or if you want to put it in ordered pair. There you go. That was a fun one, huh?